And hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the RichOnItch Podcast. Now, you might notice little bit of a different surrounding this time around.
Yeah, guys. Some of you guys felt that the recording studio was a bit static. So Mitch and I definitely agreed with you, so we added this. Hope you guys like it.
Yep, a bit more background movement, some waterfalls, some flying stuff. Even a MantaRay head over there.
Oh yeah, we do. And we have that window showing outside, so very nice.
Yep. Yeah, so a lot of improvements on that front. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I think Riptide probably is too.
For sure.
And yeah, so with that, we're going to be hopping into episode 2 of the podcast. So for the first segment, we're going to be doing our quote of the day, or I guess this time quotes of the day. The first quote is, "Y'all know what time it is" by Riptide Gaming. And you better believe y'all know what time it is, because it is RichOnItch time.
Yes, it is. I think when I said that, I was definitely foreshadowing to this very moment right now in episode 2. Like, y'all know what time it is. We got an exclusive interview with MantaRay coming up later in the video. Very exciting stuff. It's just, y'all know what time it is. We're ready to get into this.
That definitely isn't an older quote, by the way.
Yeah, no. No, not at all.
And then the other quote we have for today is one from yours truly, and it is, "I just had to profess my undying love for Tuesday." Now, this, I said it without giving any context and just left. At the time, it was, Riptide, Blazer, Manta, Nightmare, to just be confused on why I said it.
We were very confused.
So, Tuesday's a special day in my family because we have Jimmy John's for dinner every Tuesday night. So, it just makes it just the best day of the week. Because
it all makes sense now.
Because we get Jimmy John. It's amazing.
You know what? That would be my favorite day of the week, too. I have to admit. Yeah, Monday used to be my favorite day of the week because that was the day my grandparents and I would go out to eat at Taco Bell. And I loved Taco Bell at the time. I still think it's okay. I think it gets unneeded trash, but it's far from my favorite place to eat. Anyway, is that a good way to segue into segment 2?
Okay, yep. So now we're going to be talking about trouble brewing in gaming. So for segment 2 this week, something pretty big is going down. Netflix is looking to get its hands on the gaming industry. Now, for those of you who know, Netflix is definitely not the most upstanding company with stuff happening like the stuff that went down with Cuties and stuff like that, where Netflix is kind of like the EA of broadcasting,
movie streaming.
Yeah, movie
streaming services. Yeah.
But now they're trying to get their hands back in gaming, or into gaming. And now one major problem I have with this is I despise the idea of a monthly subscription for gaming, especially considering, games are pretty fairly expensive. So what'll probably happen, which is the same thing that happened when they got their hands into movies, is it'll start out with a pretty low monthly price, maybe like $20 a month or something like that for a large library of games. And then after they've gotten everybody hooked with their $20 a month, they're going to start moving into upping it pretty soon. You'll end up looking at $60 a month to be playing games that you were getting for like $20 a month before too much longer. I think Netflix is now like $50 a month, whereas it used to be like 10.
Well, actually, they have 3 different levels. So you can they have an $8.99. I think there's like a $20.99 and then a $30.99.
Okay,
not quite as expensive as you thought.
Yeah, but still, it used to be, cheaper. They raise the price gradually, and as they get the market from cable, they're able to increase their prices more and more. The only reason why Netflix hasn't been able to raise it even higher is due to the fact that, there's other people involved in the movie streaming industry, like HBO, Hulu, Disney Plus, stuff like that. So as a result, Netflix wasn't able to get quite as much of a monopoly or duopoly as they would have hoped, but they still have a lot of room to maneuver in the industry.
Yeah, and they've actually worked on some video games in the past. Like for instance, they've worked on Ubisoft on stuff like Assassin's Creed before. Apparently they have an upcoming Resident Evil game that's supposed to be coming out. And yeah, from what I hear, this new Netflix thing is, first off, it sounds like they can't make up their mind whether to be a like distributor, publisher, development. They don't really know where they're going to fit into the gaming industry yet. But to me, it sounds like they're definitely planning to make their own gaming platform, something along the lines of Stadia, that's monthly subscription based. And yeah, no, that kind of thing is definitely rare and hasn't caught on yet. But we'll see if Netflix will manage to do anything from it. I personally won't be too big on this. But yeah, interesting nevertheless.
Yeah, for sure. I personally think it's a bad thing for Netflix to get involved. However, you never know how it'll go. I think there's a decent chance we might see something kind of like how Stadia flopped. Because Stadia, does anybody even use it?
I don't personally know, not even on a personal level, I just flat out don't know anyone who uses Stadia at all.
Yeah, I honestly have a feeling Netflix will have kind of the same thing happen. Like, I feel like a lot of companies that are already really big for other tech-related things that try and get into gaming often flop, and I have a feeling we're going to see it once again with Netflix, but maybe I'm wrong. I prefer, like, Humble Bundle, for example, where you can pay the monthly fee, and then you get the Steam keys, you put them on your Steam account, and you have them forever. You don't lose the games because they're, from a monthly subscription. Whereas I assume if Netflix got involved, it would be set up more like EA's subscription system, where if you get rid of the subscription, you can't play the games anymore.
Yeah, no, I would say the difference between what Netflix is doing and something like Humble Bundle on Steam is that Humble Bundle, it's like you're having a birthday every week, Like, sure, you're paying to have the birthday, but in the long run, the gifts, the memories from that birthday are still going to be in there. For Netflix, it's like it's like paying to have your birthday every year, or else you won't have a birthday at all. As in, like if you don't pay, like, your birthday just won't happen in general.
And all of the gifts all of the gifts from your past birthdays disappear.
Yes, all the gifts from your past birthdays disappear. That's another thing, very important detail that I left out. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not that interested by Netflix doing this. We'll see where they take it. Maybe they'll make game distribution better in some way if they decide to dip their, fingers in that. I don't know. I just simply do not know.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. This is going to be interesting. But moving on to segment 3, Charlie Bit My Fingure was sold as NFT and will be taken off of YouTube now. Riptide?
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, NFT, basically, I forget the exact abbreviation for it, but it's basically a cryptocurrency that is non-renewable. And to put that into even more basic perspective, it's like an ancient artifact being sold between different museums and archives, if that makes any sense. Like, it can't be replicated. There's not multiple of it, but it's still worth something. So basically, Charlie Bit My Fingure, the video that made us all laugh, 8 years ago, that was sold as basically a cryptocurrency artifact. and it's worth $760,000. Somewhere somebody was like, you know what, I'm going to buy Charlie Bit My Finger as basically some sort of cryptocurrency for 760,000 American dollars. And basically, this video is going to be taken off of YouTube because, you know, it's now it's a privately owned video. So Mitch, what are your thoughts on this whole concept about NFTs is kind of new. What are your thoughts about this?
So, like, honestly, I've never seen Charlie Bit Your Finger or whatever. So
Bit My Finger.
Bit My Finger. So I don't have like any attachment to it or anything.
I don't have any attachment to it either, really, but I have seen it. Most people watching this have.
The idea of a video being sold and taken off of stuff like YouTube it's definitely a weird concept to me.
Mm-hmm.
Which I honestly don't fully understand.
Yeah.
You know.
What the deal is? Yeah, I looked into it. I read a whole article on it, and it's like the video was sold as, the best way I can describe it is when a museum sells an artifact to another museum. It's not its own type of currency, but it's still worth something, you know? That's the best way that I can really describe it, and that's what's happening here with Charlie Bit My Finger as a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, the only thing I really don't understand is what the value to the buyer is.
Yeah, I don't get like $760K, especially since you're not getting the rights to it on YouTube or anything. Like, it's just getting taken off of YouTube and getting sold privately. Like, Mitch, you haven't seen this, so I might have to tell the video to you. But basically, it is a family 11 years ago. They posted this video of their 2 kids, and it's been a while since I watched it. But basically, one brother bites the finger of another brother. These are like 2 toddlers. One of the brother turns to the camera and goes, the brother who got his finger bitten, he turns to the camera and goes, "Charlie bit my finger." And it hurt. It hurt a lot. And yeah, that's the whole video, and we laughed at it 11 years ago. So yeah, I don't get why that's worth $760K. From what I hear, it's being taken off of any platforms, is now owned privately. I don't know what this means for future videos. Do you think, like, I don't know, like, this is a bad example because Mark would never sell it, but like a Heist with Markiplier. What if 11 years down the line, it's known even more as a classic than it currently is, and someone buys it and it's taken off of YouTube? Do you think that stuff like that can happen in the future?
I definitely could see it happening in the future. However, I feel like ultimately, by the time anybody would be willing to sell their videos, for the most part, it's going to be at a point where, you know, most of us aren't going to really be watching it anymore. Because let's be real, how many people were watching Charlie Bit My Finger in 2021?
It was a forgotten meme.
So I feel like it's the sort of thing where we probably will see it happen more, but I doubt it'll be anything.
I swear.
You gotta get off your chair every once in a while, man. Get your lazy butt up.
I keep forgetting.
But, yeah, I definitely feel like it's the sort of thing that we'll continue to see, but I doubt will affect anyone to any large degree.
Yeah.
Now, the only concern I do have with it is if it starts affecting the music industry, because I feel like that's the sort of thing where artists would be willing to sell songs and then they just get pulled off the platform and we start losing music.
Yeah, what happens to the music videos then? That would be so complicated though, because music is kind of separate from music videos in my mind. So could somebody just sell off their music video?
I'm guessing they'd have to sell the song too.
Yeah, like how would... Yeah, you can't just split the rights to the song, because in the music video is the song, so... Yeah, I don't know. This whole concept is something extremely new. I think that what happened with Charlie Bit My Finger is a very it's an interesting concept, and it's going to take time for us to completely understand it, especially with how this new sort of world of cryptocurrency works, and how stuff is valued. But yeah, no, that is a very interesting story, and obviously, yeah. I think YouTube actually made the decision to take it down. Like, they didn't have to take it down, they just did. Because it was now privately owned, which... I don't know. The whole situation is very hard to understand, but it's interesting to think how it might evolve in the future.
Yeah, as I said, I think we'll see more of it, but I don't think we'll ever see it being large enough to affect it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment of it. Speaking of which, speaking of fair assessments, Mitch, we need to assess what happened this day in history. So, do you know what happened this day in history?
So, this day, May 26th, day of recording, in 1927, Henry Ford and the Ford Company produced the last ever Model T Ford, and it also was the 15 millionth one they produced.
Yeah, very interesting. For those of you who do not know much about history, the Model T Ford was the first automobile that was basically accessible to people of all classes, because Henry Ford, with his... There's a lot of things that led up to it, but we consider Henry Ford also the real inventor of the assembly line, and he was able to mass produce cars faster, and because of the Model T Ford, people all around America were able to have cars. And this day in 1927, the last of the Model T Ford, possibly the most revolutionary car ever to be made, the last one ever, was sold today. So, very interesting stuff that happened this day in history. Now, more news in the gaming industry. An update has been announced by Among Us Twitter, and it says that the Among Us is planning to add 6 new colors. One of them has been confirmed to be a rose color, which is like a mix between white and pink. And they announced that they will be releasing all the details at the Summer Game Fest on June 10th. And this is definitely considered to sort of be the final push 1 year later from when Among Us really started to get super popular. This is considered to be the final push for Among Us to maintain its popularity, because even though it added the new airship map, like, the airship map was cool, according to people I've talked to. I still haven't played it.
I actually haven't either.
Yeah, but apparently people currently playing they feel like there's no new content. They feel like Among Us has been the same for a fairly long time now. And it was getting that vibe a long time ago too.
And let me elaborate a bit more about the complaints. Some of the problems people have with it, obviously the fact it grows stagnant. Any game is going to eventually grow stagnant and be played less. Same thing happened with Minecraft, same things happened with a lot of other games. Now, in some cases, they'll see a resurgence, like Minecraft pretty much has every time it's suffered a drop in popularity. But in the case of Among Us, it's the sort of game that you don't expect to see too much of a resurgence, and I have a feeling it's going to drop off and not really be talked about again before too much longer. However, let's talk about some of the specific reasons why it started to see a drop off. One major reason is hackers. Like, whenever a hacker shows up in your game, there's nothing you can do about it. You know, they completely ruin your day. Sometimes they'll follow your lobbies around, so you'll leave and create a new lobby, or leave and join a new lobby, and the hacker ends up in that game again, and it's just a huge pain to deal with. So hackers have caused a major problem for the game. Then also, the new airship map, it dropped, and people really enjoyed it. However, there was one major problem that a lot of people had with it that, you know, caused a huge issue with, which was the fact that it was too large for 10 people player counts. So as a result, it makes it hard for the general non-people who aren't playing modded to truly enjoy it due to the lack of
Yeah, I mean, everyone
people
just...
you can have on.
Yeah, it probably, Among Us already feels stagnant if you're not, like, in a call with friends and stuff doing it. And this just adds to that, man. Like, the games probably feel like they last so long. Just because, it takes longer to do stuff. It'll take longer to do your tasks. It'll take longer for the imposter to find someone or longer to find a body. The new map was cool and all from what I heard, but it made the game slower. And that's not something that's great for Among Us. That's not what they wanted. Yeah. So yeah, the future of Among Us, definitely, if they're able to turn it around with this next update, like add some sort of new feature that totally changes up the game and the way that we look at it and the way that it's played, good for them. Good for them. They were able to successfully save their game. Unfortunately,
I feel like the problem Among Us is going to have with this is even if they manage to fix their problems, they're going to need something new and exciting that's going to get old people back to the game. Because one of the problems they're going to have is they've lost so many people who, they came back for the airship and were disappointed with that. So now they're going to be very hard to convince them to play again, pretty much regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
So they're in a spot where, in my opinion, their only way to recover would be to successfully post an update that completely changes the way that the game runs and just add something insanely new that will excite and bring back old players, because they're in a spot where they're not going to be able to attract too many new players and not a lot of old players are going to be willing to come back.
Yeah, they're going to need to do more than add new colors to get me to start regularly playing the game again. And I think, obviously, the first step they have to do is they have to make it harder to hack Among Us. They have to fix their bugs. They have to fix Airship. After those three things are fixed, now we can start talking about, possibly dipping their foot into new territory, where maybe they could keep the old murder mystery style game mode, but also add new game modes to play inside Among Us. Now, what those are, I honestly don't know what those are, but that's what the dev team is there for, to make new and exciting content and figure out ways that they can vastly improve the game. So yeah, if Among Us wants to save itself, I would say that what we've discussed here is definitely a great way of starting that out.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Among Us come back. It seems to have likable developers behind it and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing Among Us be popular again. I just don't know if they're going to be able to pull it out.
Yeah, I have no problems with Among Us. I'm not tired of the name Among Us, but it just ran out of content, man. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
So now we are going to talk about what happened this week in the sports world. One of the things that happened was a funny story that came out of the MLB, which is a pitcher for Cleveland. His name is Zach Plesac. Something like that. I hope I pronounce his name right. Probably not. And he's going to be on the injured list for a non-displaced fracture in his right thumb, according to the manager of Cleveland. Now, how did this happen, you may occur? Obviously, if it made it onto the RichOnItch podcast, it wasn't just any normal sports injury, because, to be honest, RichOnItch doesn't care too much about baseball. So, the reason it happened, and the reason we bring this up, is because after his last outing that ended with a 5-run inning, when the Twins were playing one of their recent games. He got knocked out of the game by his coach or, some of the management staff because he wasn't playing too great. So he went back to the clubhouse, which is a baseball term for a locker room. He quote unquote aggressively ripped off his shirt. He got his thumb stuck in a chair in the locker room, and that ended up fracturing his thumb.
Yeah, definitely not the best way to get an injury. Like you hear about some dumb injuries, but that one hurts.
Yeah. It's just the wording behind it too. According to the general manager, Plasek was aggressively taking off his shirt.
Yeah, that's.
Oh man, this is why we love sports. Sports is much better when stuff like this, when stuff like this comes out. That's just an amazing story. Mitch, do you want to cover what happened in the NFL this week?
Okay, so first things, NFL superstar and top wide receiver of the Atlanta Falcons has requested a trade out of Atlanta, saying, "I'm out of there."
Yes.
So,
and this man's name is Julio Jones.
Yeah, Julio Jones. Sorry, I don't know how I forgot to say that. Yeah, Julio Jones he's a really good wide receiver. It wasn't that long ago that he was contending for being the best wide receiver in the NFL. Now he's dropped off a little from that point in time. I don't think there's many people.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age and dealt with injuries and stuff. And in the NFL, if you're a wide receiver past the age of 30, you're basically considered an old guy. So,
yeah. So as a result, he's definitely a bit more on his way out as a wide receiver. Not nearly at the level he was a year ago, but he is still a wonderful wide receiver. Any team would love to have him. I don't think there's a single team that would refuse to have him if they could get the right deal out of him.
Yeah, no, and he's not a terrible locker room presence either, from what I hear. He's not like a great locker room presence like, other guys in the league, but he's not a toxic locker room presence, which is rare from a lot of superstar wide receivers. Antonio Brown.
Yeah, so getting Julio Jones on your team would be a great option, especially with him wanting out of Atlanta. And now Atlanta's in a tough spot because with Julio Jones insisting out, they don't have many other options besides to trade him. But he, they're not going to have a leg up in any of the negotiations.
Definitely not.
Because the teams know he wants out. They know that Atlanta needs to trade him.
Yeah, they're not going to offer as much for him. Because they know that Atlanta can't hold on to him. So yeah, definitely a bad situation that Julio has placed Atlanta in. Quite honestly, I don't think he's very sorry about it. Like, Atlanta has just had such a tough stretch these past few years, man. Like, Mitch, do you think Atlanta will ever recover from 28-3?
28-3 is the best punchline in the league, and let's be real, though they won't recover from it until the generation that remembers it is dead and the next generation. Because it's just such a great punchline. Like, whenever somebody talks about the Falcons being good, and you have an annoying Falcons fan that you have to deal with, all you have to do is look at them, say 28-3, and walk away.
Yeah, like, that's a perfect mic drop when talking to a Falcons fan, and it will instantly cause them to crumble on the floor and just cry theirself out of existence. And it's absolutely great. I don't think Atlanta's going to be able to fix itself for a while, and they'll definitely never be able to recover or, live down 28-3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think Atlanta will ever be prominent behind Matt Ryan.
Yeah, no, it's going to be hard. Like, Matt Ryan, he's not a terrible quarterback. Far, far from the worst. Like, very far. But he's just... He's not... I don't know how to put this. Is he elite? I mean, the guy puts up good stats.
He does put up good stats, but he also... He does throw his fair share of interceptions.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Matt Ryan on the proper team would have been able to have been at a point that it would be undeniable that he would be elite. But I feel like because he was on Atlanta, because of 28-3, it's hard for him to recover from that, even at a personal level. I don't think Matt Ryan will ever recover from 28-3. Because of 28-3, it's almost impossible for anybody to think of him as an actual elite quarterback.
Yeah. By the way, for those of you who don't know, 28-3 is referencing the Super Bowl, where at halftime the Falcons were leading by 28 points to 3 points against the New England Patriots, which is a very substantial lead, and they completely blew it. New England came back and won the game. I believe they went scoreless the entire second half. Or maybe a field goal. I don't exactly remember, but yeah, no, that's what that is. As for NBA news, nothing much happened this week besides the playoffs happened. And the play-in games, my Pacers got eliminated. Very sad. There's actually more NFL news, though. This is just a quick tidbit to end off this segment, which is Aaron Rodgers did not show up for optional practices. And if you guys don't know, optional practices are basically practices that happen in early summer, late spring, that NFL teams do to kind of get the new guys integrated into their new team and to help the players that were already on their team just knock off some rust after, not playing football or working out too hard from basically the time of the Super Bowl until now. And Aaron Rodgers, who has been having contract disputes, decided not to show up. And this isn't the first time he's done it. Superstars like him do it all the time, but it could be a bit more significant this time.
Well, and the other thing that makes it especially notable is the fact that the Packers' top 5 wide receivers, I believe, sat out for the practices, for sure, including Devontae Adams, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Alan Lazard, and Devin Funchess all sat out for sure. Which, it wouldn't be that notable if only a couple of them sat out, but all of the top wide receivers from the Packers sitting out, especially with guys with work ethics like Alan Lazard and Devontae Adams sitting out, this is a big deal that they would all decide to sit out at once, especially considering the fact it would have been a great chance for Jordan Love to start to get acquainted with what's soon to be his receiving core, assuming things keep going with Rodgers.
Yeah.
So
it is important to note, this is a sticky situation because if Rodgers leaves, every single one of our receivers' contracts are going to be up after this season. We're not going to have a single receiver signed to our roster after this season, which is... How did the Packers manage to let this happen? I honestly don't know. But that's not a good thing, especially since your quarterback now wants out of town and all of your receivers could go with him since their contracts end.
So yeah, definitely going to be a tough spot for the Packers. What will they do? I feel like to a degree, if Rodgers really is insistent on leaving, they do have to trade Rodgers, they're going to have no choice but to also trade at least Devontae Adams. Because he's made it clear that he doesn't really want to play in Green Bay if Rodgers isn't there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the Packers, man. I really hope that they're able to get this all fixed out, but it's not going to be easy. The management is going to have to they're going to have to pull stuff out of their pockets, to say the least. Anyway, on to our favorite part of the show, which is reading the comments from last week. Now, last week we had a below average amount of comments. This week we are going to have an above average amount of comments to read.
Well, the other thing about that is this is our first episode with actual comments, so of course it's going to be...
I said above average. Like, I already know we're not going to have this many comments in the future simply based off of the fact that we actually premiered the first episode on both Mitch and I's channel, additionally to the RichOnItch Podcast channel. So we probably ended up getting an above average amount of comments. The first comment comes in from Sith Gaming saying, "Love the podcast, had breakfast while listening to this." We are very glad that you enjoy this while eating your breakfast.
Well, and in my opinion, that's the way to do podcasts.
Yep,
If you're going to listen to podcasts, do it while you're doing something else, working out, working on...
Whether it's working out, mowing the lawn, doing homework, eating a meal, if you're just by yourself and lonely, much like I am, then yeah, podcasts are definitely the way to go. So glad to see that you podcasted right, Sith Gaming.
Yep. And then the second coming from your boy Blazer, he said, "Guys, this is such a cool idea. Really enjoyed listening to the podcast, and honestly, all the different topics made for a really great episode. I actually learned so much about different topics I was pretty much clueless on. I can't wait to see more of the episodes, and honestly, just keep up the great work. I really enjoyed this first one." Thank you so much, Blazer. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Blazer. You guys have no clue how much this does for Mitch and I, just seeing all the positive feedback you guys give us. Yeah, an interesting thing that he commented on here was the fact that he learned about a bunch of stuff that I didn't know about before. And I just find that that's basically this podcast in a nutshell. I mean, we are trying to inform people on things happening in communities that they care about and are invested in. But it's about things that they just may not know about. It's about things that they probably haven't heard yet happening in the community. Like, for instance, the whole Netflix thing. I bet a lot of the people watching this didn't know that Netflix was planning to do that. And that's one of my favorite parts about this podcast, is that we touch on obscure but interesting things that people will care about. So, yeah, thank you, your boy Blazer. Our next comment comes from Gumball, saying, "This podcast definitely has a lot of potential. It's great." Thank you for the kind words. RichOnItch and I are constantly working to improve this podcast, to make it more entertaining, to bring guests on here that you guys will enjoy listening to, and just producing it better in general.
Yep. And then the last comment for today comes from James Amaya. Hopefully I'm saying the last name right. Yes. Knowledge. And that touches in on what Blazer was saying too, just different topics, stuff like that, knowledge.
Yes, knowledge. We are giving you guys all the wisdoms that you will need to know. So, our last segment before we bring special guest MantaRay, who has, what's he up to, like 830 subs on YouTube by now?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. The man's crazy. He's going to be on the show next. Stay tuned for that. But our last segment before that, I know you guys can barely wait, but it's the part of the show where we complain about YouTube.
Yes, and this is my favorite segment. Wait, YouTube. I didn't mean it, please. So in recent news, YouTube is going to be investing large amounts of money into their short system to incentivize YouTubers to use it and stuff like that. Now, this might sound like, all right thing at first glance. The short system.
We all enjoy watching shorts. Good memes on there. Good memes.
Shorts can be fun. However, the main thing that bothers me about this is the short section of YouTube is mostly populated by people whose primary platform is like TikTok or Instagram or stuff like that. It's not very many people whose primary platform is YouTube. So what bothers me about this move is I feel like what they're doing here is they're kind of pandering to people from other platforms and trying to get them to move over instead of, investing that money back into the YouTubers who have been working hard on the platform for a long time and continue to pump out the majority of the content that keeps YouTube afloat and stuff like that. And instead of investing it back to, creators like us, smaller creators and medium-sized creators and stuff like that who could really use it, they're instead pumping it into trying to convince people from platforms like TikTok and Instagram to move over.
Yeah, and this is a problem, again, that YouTube has. It's just remembering, the people that really prop them up. Remembering the backbone of YouTube, which is their main creators. And we touched on this with, random demonetization and whatnot last week. YouTube is basically demonstrating another example of them taking away money from their backbone. Because as you said, shorts, listen, we all love shorts, but it's because they're a good compilation of like good TikToks or, Instagram videos, or just videos in general that are just reposts at the end of the day. So it not only feels like they're investing into people to, other people who aren't, extremely loyal to them to try to get them to come over, and feels like they're investing in other companies before, doing things to improve the, well-being of the main creators on their platform. Part of which would be hiring a team or something that makes, censorship better, or people who review content, paying people to either make better algorithms to review if there's, content violations, or however that money can be used. There's plenty of problems that YouTube could put that money into.
Yeah, and I feel like the people that this sort of thing hurts the most are definitely those around like 80,000 subscribers, kind of at that point where it's becoming a possibility for them to, move from whatever job they're working to full-time YouTube and stuff like that, where, they're very reliant on a very fluctuating income and stuff like that, where those sort of people now, the money that they're investing in shorts has to come from somewhere. The money that YouTube makes is from ad revenue that they split with the creators. So whenever they're doing stuff like this, what's happening is they're taking ad revenue from the creators and bringing back. And the people it hurts the most aren't those with 50 million subscribers or even like 10 million subscribers. Those people, they're going to make good money pretty much regardless of how YouTube splits the monetization, because even if they don't get the money from YouTube, there would be hundreds of companies lining up to do deals and stuff with them. The people it hurts the most are those around 80,000 subs who they don't have as many opportunities outside of YouTube, and they're just starting to get their feet under them on the platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like you and I are like so good at leading rebellions against YouTube. Like, I can definitely see why this is your favorite part of the podcast. And yeah, YouTube, listen, just get your platform up to the level of others, okay? That's all we're asking.
Yeah, like on Twitch, like when you're on Twitch, you feel like the platform kind of wants you there. Like when you hit the point of being able to be monetized, they immediately start sending you emails. They're like, very much so like, come on, you can get monetized now, let's do this. Whereas on YouTube, like, I don't know how it is now, but like when I was first starting out, you to specifically request that they sent you an email when you hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't something they did by default to try and get you monetized. It was,
Yeah.
Because YouTube is very much so built where the money they get is from the larger creators. They're not as worried about the smaller creators and stuff like that, because those from 0 to 20,000 subscribers aren't really going to be making YouTube any.
Yeah. With YouTube's whole monetization thing, so would it hurt them if they were to get more people monetized? So for instance, they obviously have more people on their platform than Twitch, and more monetized channels as well. Would it hurt them in any way to have a larger pool of monetized channels? Would that lower their wages or the wages of other channels? Or explain to me the economics of this.
So the reason why they limit it to hire channels is because once you're monetized on YouTube, YouTube becomes more responsible for you. If you're not monetized and you start doing and you're posting content that's very,
edgy,
not belonging on the channel, maybe, 18 plus stuff that shouldn't be on on YouTube really.
Yeah.
Then if you're not monetized, YouTube has the excuse of we didn't monetize them, we're not involved with them, they just created an account and signed up, we have nothing to do with this. Whereas if they start monetizing the smaller channels, it'll be easier for monetized channels to be involved with that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So wouldn't it work? Wouldn't it apply the same to Twitch though? Or do you just think that they aren't worried about it because they have better monetization in general?
So in the case of Twitch,
moderation, not monetization.
So in the case of Twitch, they do have better moderation than YouTube does for sure. Like in Twitch, I hear like if you do something that goes against what they're about, then your stream can be taken down within moments.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in the case of Twitch, you have to stream for, I think it's like 20 hours or something before you can get monetized. Now, the thing about it is on YouTube, you can theoretically hit 1,000 subscribers off of 15 minutes of work. And you can also theoretically not hit it off of hours and hours and days and months and years of work. Like, for example, where we're at,
we put quite a lot of work into YouTube.
Yeah, I have over 700 videos on my channel, and I'm at like 300 something subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where it's like the amount of effort you put in on YouTube doesn't affect your monetization chances. Whereas on Twitch, it does require that bare minimum of, okay, you've been on the platform long enough that if you were doing something that was purely for the case of trying to, undermine our platform, you'd probably already been pulled off by our moderators.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is a good explanation for that. About the economics of why it's so much harder to get monetized on YouTube and why it kind of feels like YouTube treats their... How do I put this? It's like YouTube treats their monetized channels worse than if they weren't monetized in a way.
Because they treat them stricter.
Yeah. They're more strict about their content and whatnot. Anyway, guys, we are now going to head in to our next segment where we will have, drumroll please, guest MantaRay.
Yes, very exciting. Look forward to it, guys. MantaRay is a really cool guy, and yeah, it'll be good fun. And okay, guys, so now we have the wonderful, the beautiful, the shoe-wearing MantaRay.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Yes,
Thank
hello,
you, thank
MantaRay.
you.
Welcome on.
So, for starters, we're just going to ask you some questions, and, you know how interviews work. I know with how famous you are, you've gone through a lot of these.
Oh, so many. So
Yes.
many.
Be honest with us, MantaRay. Straight up. Is this your first interview?
This is actually.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, well, welcome to the RichOnItch Podcast. We're glad to have you. So, the first question we're going to ask you is, what is your favorite part about doing YouTube?
Okay, my favorite part I'd have to say is probably when I first upload the video and when people see it for the first time, because I spend a while on my videos, and I like when people see my videos, so I think my favorite part is watching other people react to my videos.
Yeah, no. And, like, I definitely get that because, all of us have videos that we've worked hard on, and we've invested a lot of time in it, specifically based off of the requests our community has. So yeah, I definitely get when a new video comes out, and you're just super excited to see if your fan base liked it, and it's just amazing when you make content that other people love. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. MantaRay, what's the first video that you remember that really took off or went viral?
Well, okay. My first video that did well was a Fortnite video, which upsets me. But
As
I
it would
think my
anyway.
first I think my first video that actually did decently was the Sorit Craft video. I think that video got like 500 views in like 3 days. I think that was my first video to get above 100 views. So,
Oh snap,
wow.
that's nice.
Yeah, speaking of Swordcraft, I guess we can take this time to talk about Swordcraft because, yeah, it's not on our notes, but Swordcraft is kind of why this right now is happening. I mean, Mitch and I might still be here, but to be honest, MantaRay, you were the one who came up with the podcast idea, so really it wouldn't be happening without you. So yeah, like how did Swordcraft go? Did this dude just like pop into your comments and be like, "Hey, wanna record a series with us?"
yeah, it was really weird. The Verdicts Gaming, I guess he reached out to quite a few people, and I just remember he left a comment on a video asking if I wanted to join some SMP thing, which I'm not super big into SMP, so I don't know why I said yes, but I said yes. He invited me to a Discord, and I only played for like 2 weeks or something before the server ended. And the server only ended because I guess he was cheating multiple times on the server. And I wasn't going to be in the server when he was cheating, so I left, and I guess I caused a bunch of other people to leave with me.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because I've talked to Blazer, and it's my own experience that there was something interesting about Vertex reaching out to us, because I never would have accepted anything like that normally. Like it's the sort of thing that some random dude comes into my stream and goes, "You want to join my SMP?" And every time before and every time after, I said no. But for whatever reason, when Vertex asked, I was like, "You know what? DM me after the stream. We'll talk."
Yeah, it's super weird. I've been invited to 5 SMPs since, and I've said no to all of them. So I don't get why, but for some reason, Swordcraft just seemed like a good idea. And I don't regret it at all. It was probably the best decision I've made making videos.
Yeah, definitely. And I just find that so crazy because obviously, I don't know, man, things work in mysterious ways sometimes because, I mean, also, guys, Blazer was also in Swordcraft, and I think, Manta, that's how you and Blazer met, correct?
Yeah, that's how Blazer and I met.
Yeah.
We met during Swordcraft.
Yeah, that's also how Mitch met you two. And you guys just hit it off big time, and obviously we're pretty good friends now today. So, yeah, no, it's just crazy how Swordcraft worked out for you guys.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because, like, the other friend group that, like, I actually haven't talked to, I met through Outcasted Cringe, who was also on Swordcraft.
Yeah, Outcasted Cringe is another big one. People on my personal channel wouldn't know who he is, but I'm sure people on both of your channels would know who Outcasted is.
Assuming they were around during that time.
Yeah, assuming. I
assuming
don't know.
They watch Swordcraft.
I had 80 subscribers then, so not many of my people would know.
Yeah, I was in a similar boat. I think I was at like 110.
Yeah, you had
Maybe
a
a
few more
little
than
lower.
I did.
Yeah, not many more though. Okay, now moving on, Manta. So now we're gonna ask you about the most legendary video on your channel. Play Roblox.
Oh, no. Roblox. I play Roblox every day. Roblox. I got Roblox in my veins. Minecraft sucks. Roblox is better. You think I want to play the block game? Let's get it. Roblox. We got mine coins. We got Robux. Which one's better? Don't waste my time. You spend coins on maps I downloaded online. What? Roblox. I got Roblox in my veins. Roblox. I play Roblox every day. Minecraft sucks. Roblox is better. You know it's true. Whoa. I made 160 Minecraft vids. Oh, what does my life come to?
So, can you just give us a little background on why you created the song and what kind of inspired you to write a not so diss track on Roblox.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened was I was recording a bit for a Minecraft video, and I was gonna have a Roblox bit in it. That video never happened. I don't even remember what it was. But during it, I got banned from Roblox. My account got turned off on Roblox. I guess it was something I said in chat. I don't think I said anything, but yeah, for some reason, I got banned from Roblox, and I decided to, at that point, just make a joke video about it. I remember I announced it on Discord, and people were like, "Oh, yay, yay!" Especially Blazer for some reason. And I wasn't gonna upload it, but then I uploaded it, and it took me. I did it in like 10 minutes. And that video has like 90 views, and it's like the least worked video. I didn't even record the car driving in Roblox. That's just footage taken from YouTube. That's not even my own Roblox gameplay.
Dude,
Wow.
I knew that was. I was watching through it the other day, actually, in preparation to making this, and I was just like, dude, there's no way that he actually recorded this. This is someone else's footage, I guarantee you.
Yeah, it wasn't even my footage.
Yeah.
No effort in that video whatsoever.
I figured it wasn't your account, but I didn't expect that it wasn't your footage either.
No, I just completely took it, and then I linked the person's channel in the
Yeah,
description.
Some of my favorite YouTube music to this day. I mean, honestly, you really displayed how much of a lyrical rapper you are. And
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, we are definitely looking forward to future songs by you, Manta, for sure.
Oh, I don't think there will be future songs.
Yeah. And I'll probably end up putting a clip of it in this podcast so that the viewers can hear it. So, there's also another video that we wanted to ask you about. And it is my personal favorite video of yours, which is I spent $8 to visit Jurassic Park in Minecraft. And Mitch, you can probably ask the first question.
Okay, so obviously, I'm assuming your thought process when something along the lines of, I'm gonna, go spend some money on a Minecraft map for a video. But why exactly Jurassic Park?
Alright, I like Jurassic Park a lot. If you go back into my channel and go to filter it by oldest, I used to play this game called Jurassic World Evolution all the time on my channel. I don't know why, I've always liked the Jurassic Park movies. I'm not big into dinosaurs, but I like the Jurassic Park movies. And then I saw this Minecraft map, and I was like, okay, video, right now. And then I made the video, and it did it, like, it was my first video that I think I gained the
Oh yeah, I forgot to warn you guys. So I don't know if you noticed I disappeared for a second.
Yeah,
that's because if you sit in chairs for too long, you'll get disconnected for being idle. So yeah, that's why I've just been popping out of my chair and sitting back in it. Anyway,
okay.
MantaRay, continue.
I remember that video. It did really well, like the first 2 days, like for my channel's average at the time. So it got like 80 views in like 2 days. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. And then I stopped uploading for a bit because I was moving at the time, so I couldn't really record videos.
Yeah, I remember.
And then just suddenly the video had like 500, 600 views, and I was like, why did this video? I put a lot of effort into that video, but I don't look back on it like as one of my best videos. Now, it's probably in the top 10 best videos, but I wouldn't consider it I don't know. Yeah, that video did surprisingly well, and I am pretty proud of it.
Yeah, no, I don't know, sometimes as a creator you can never see your content in the same way that your viewers see your content, obviously. And I think it definitely displays, because to me it sounds like you're just like, I put a lot of effort into it. I'm pretty proud of it. It's not my best video, though. To a lot of people I talk to, we just absolutely love that video. There's something about the fact that you just spent $8 on a bedrock map
that just made bedrock is literally the worst.
Yeah, no, it's not good, but there's something about that just made it so comical right off the bat, and just your commentary during the whole thing and nerding out about dinosaurs and stuff. It was a great watch.
Okay, so now for this next part, Manta, you and Riptide are going to be going head to head.
Oh no.
You guys are going to be battling it out in a battle of wits over history trivia.
Oh, come on.
I love history. Let's go.
I don't.
I love history.
So,
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's about the kind of history I know a lot about, but we'll see.
I know George Washington, and that's it. He was like the
Oh.
5th president or something, right?
Yeah.
Actually 7th.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
Let's
are
start
you
off.
guys ready to rumble?
I was born ready, RichOnItch.
yeah, sure, let's go, I guess. Might as well.
Okay. So, Manta, put down the trident.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, look each other in the eyes.
Okay. I'm Optifine zoomed in on your face right now. So
Okay.
I'm looking in at you so hard.
So, Riptide, I want you to stand on the spot.
Okay.
Manta, I want you to stand on this line. So here's how we're gonna do it. Every time you get a question right, you move forward a lot. Okay.
Okay.
And actually, wait. Get back here.
Okay.
And then the first one to get 3 questions and make it to this middle line wins.
Okay. Nice. Okay, let's do
Okay.
this. Trivia time, guys.
Okay, so the first question is, which nation won the 100 Years' War?
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
Did we just blurt it out?
So,
I just studied about this in
yeah.
history.
As soon as you have the answer, say it.
Oh, let me think. 100 years.
Yeah, I
Okay,
need
so
to
what
think of
country's
this.
old enough to have a war for England?
Is
That is incorrect, Manta. Riptide, do you have an answer to this question?
Let me think about this. This could take a
Oh,
while.
no.
Oh, what's the 100 Years' War from? I just studied this. Was it France?
Yes, it was France. France beat England in the 100 Years' War.
That's why I thought. Okay, I'm in the
Yikes.
French Revolution right now, so that wasn't too far down the road.
Okay, Riptide, take a step forward.
Okay.
Okay. So, question number 2. Which nation had a military division called the Winged Hussars?
No, I don't know these.
The Winged Tazars?
Hussars.
Not Zars. Tazars.
Hussars.
Hussars?
Wait, let me make sure I had this right, but I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it.
Manta, there ain't no way you or I are getting this correct. I never heard of that before.
Germany.
Hussars, yeah. It was not Germany, Manta.
I'm going to say Lithuania.
You know what? I'll give it to you. Take a step forward.
What?
It was the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth.
I don't know how I knew that. That was just a random guess. Well, you know what? This is fairly accurate about.
Yeah. The Winged Hussars were one of their cavalry divisions,
Interesting.
and they were mostly comprised of more like nobles and stuff rather than common army. But I digress. Okay, so
Understood.
question number 3. What side was Bulgaria on in World War II up until 1944?
Manta can have first guess. Actually, I suppose I can guess first since that gives Manta more time to think about it. I think Bulgaria was on the Axis. I think.
Manta, do you have an answer?
No, I don't.
There's only one other side.
Bulgaria was on the Axis
Oh, well.
up until 1944 when they switched sides.
Well. Do I win?
Do you guys want to try a shot at the last 2 questions?
Sure. If Manta can get them both right, he wins. I'm doubling down. All or nothing.
Okay. Well, in that case, Manta, you get. Oh. Okay, Manta's leaving us.
He's leaving.
Manta, you can have first dibs on.
Oh. Why?
Who had the larger kill count, Mao Zedong or Joseph Stalin?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't know I don't know these people. Actually, I do. I actually do know these people.
Take a guess. It's 1 and 2.
1 and 2. I'm gonna go with Joseph Stalin, Mr. On Itch.
Joseph Stalin had the smaller kill count. Mao Zedong had killed more people than Joseph Stalin.
That's tricky.
Mao Zedong actually has the largest kill count of any leader all time.
I didn't even know that.
Okay, and then final question. This one's for bonus points.
I'm doubling down again. If MantaRay gets this, he wins.
Okay, Manta. Look at me. This is very important. What country did the German Federation originate out of? They were a country in the Holy Roman Empire.
You said Roman. And I don't know this question. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty dumb. I'm not good at things.
You're not good at history, apparently.
Actually, the only thing I'm good at is YouTube. That's literally the only thing I'm good at. I'm not even good at that.
You are pretty good at YouTube.
So, what was the question again?
What country founded the German Federation?
Germany.
Germany was the nation that was founded! Okay, Riptide, do you know this one?
The German Federation? No, I don't. What? What's a country that borders Germany? That probably has nothing to do with it. I'm gonna say Poland. That's so wrong.
It was Prussia.
Prussia? Okay, well.
Yes, the nation of Prussia incorporated neighboring nations to form the German Federation, which later competed with the Austrian Empire for control over the Holy Roman Empire and eventually turned into Germany. Well, this was a
success.
Yeah, this was fun. I'm sorry. Apparently, I asked too hard of questions. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to embarrass you on air.
Oh, I'm not embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
I'm not.
Like, I'm super embarrassed because of how this like exposes that I'm semi-decent at history, and I think that these days history is considered lame. I think by most people.
History's lame. I'm cool.
Well, in that case, I'm extra lame.
Yeah.
I made all these questions off the top of my head.
Yeah, Mitch just knew this. Yeah, anyway, guys, thank you all.
You guys are old.
So much for watching this edition of the RichOnItch Podcast.
You guys are so old.
Make sure to check us out on Spotify if you wish. The link below, and we'll catch you next week.
And don't forget to go check out MantaRay.
Yes, absolutely. Go check out MantaRay.
He's a very cool guy.
You have been watching the RichOnItch Podcast. If you would like to find us next week, please remember to tune in to our Spotify or YouTube channel. Links are all in the description. Thank you.